The leaders of the non-aligned nations arrived in Delhi to discuss a plan of action against the white regime in South Africa. The action could include setting up a fund to lessen the hold of the South African government on their states. All of these leaders are against apartheid. They're preparing in case South Africa uses its economic might to show its displeasure. After all, states such as Lesotho and Mozambique are dependent on South Africa for their energy. Landlocked nations like Zambia and Zimbabwe rely on South African roads and railways for trade. If the non-aligned nations are successful in setting up the fund, then they may be able to cushion their losses. During the two-day summit, the leaders will also launch an appeal for money from countries who can support the fund. In the past, the non-aligned nations have been accused of being a powerless organization. With the Africa Fund project, they're hoping that the world will rethink its impression of them.
The Pretoria regime constitutes a clear threat to international peace. It must be removed, and removed now. We must continue to press for comprehensive mandatory sanctions. There is already a welcome shift in the position of some countries. Deaf ears have begun to hear.
Pre 4 decenije oslobođenje Indije nagovestilo je kolaps kolonijalne ere. Bilo je to u vreme Mahatme Gandhija, legende i tada i danas borbe protiv kolonijalizma, svake nepravde prema čovjeku i diskriminacije ljudi.
We cannot but thank our lucky stars that the heads of the state of government, of the movement of the non-aligned countries, saw it fit to establish a fund that should enable us to extricate ourselves from the horrible and the abominable tentacles of that system.
Almost $70 million was pledged to the Africa Fund before the summit was over. Indian Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi summed up its success.
In a few short months, we have translated an idea into a specific plan of action. The schemes and projects we have identified will channel urgently needed additional assistance to liberation movements in South Africa and Namibia and to the frontline states. The Africa Fund is an earnest of our solidarity with our brothers and sisters in Southern Africa. The ending of apartheid is not merely the restoration of human rights and human dignity to the people of South Africa, but is, in fact, the restoration of human rights and human dignity to all of humanity.
The 9 members of the Africa Fund congratulated one another on what they had achieved, another step towards breaking the economic dependence of the frontline states on South Africa.